But the time has now come to suspend my campaign.
That was it. A journey that started more than a year ago.
I'm Nikki Haley, and I'm running for president.
Is now over. Nikki Haley dropping out clears the way for Trump to win the nomination, setting the stage for a rematch with Biden in November. Now, that's not a huge shock. Donald Trump has been crushing Haley in the Republican primaries, but Haley was stubbornly persistent.
Some of you, perhaps a few of you in the media, came here today to see if I'm dropping out of the race. Well, I'm not.
If I had to describe Nikki Haley's run in one word, it would be protest.
So let's hear from Haley herself. What's changed?
I am filled with the gratitude for the outpouring of support we've received from all across our great country. I have no regrets. And although I will no longer be a candidate, I will not stop using my voice for the things I believe in.
Haley's announcement was short, less than 4 minutes long. About half of it was spent talking about Donald Trump. We'll get to that. But that outpouring of support, as she describes it was never there in the way she needed it to be.
I sought the honor of being your president. But in our great country, being a private citizen is privilege enough in itself.
Haley did win in Washington, D.C., and she did win in Vermont. But in the more than dozen other races, she lost. And Trump swept almost every Super Tuesday state this week. In Alabama, she trailed by 70 percentage points. In Alaska, she was behind by 75. Very few races lately have been close. If you take all of her Super Tuesday defeats, on average, each loss, she was behind nearly 50 percentage points. Losing her home state of South Carolina early in the primary process, that stung.
It's her home state. It's, since 1972, there's never been a candidate in either party who has lost their home state.
At first, it seemed Haley might avoid mentioning Trump altogether. Her parting shot was really a broadside against Republicans writ large.
Our Congress is dysfunctional and only getting worse. It is filled with followers, not leaders. Standing by our allies in Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan is a moral imperative. If we retreat further, there will be more war, not less.
But that comment, especially about Ukraine, that's a dig at Trump, too.
He's siding with the dictator instead of siding with our allies.
Do you want Ukraine to win this war?
I don't think in terms of winning and losing. I think in terms of getting it settled so we stop killing all these people.
Can you say if you want Ukraine or Russia to win this war?
I want everybody to stop dying. They're dying.
I think that Nikki Haley's comments about foreign policy, about Ukraine, about the way Congress is working is an extension of her broader reservations about the Trump era.
Haley also said something we're quite used to hearing in political speeches from almost anybody, but that might hold special meaning for her.
We must bind together as Americans. We must turn away from the darkness of hatred and division.
Haley and Trump, how do I put this? They don't like each other.
He's gotten more unstable and unhinged. I don't believe Donald Trump can beat Joe Biden. Some people used to say I was running because I really wanted to be vice president. I think I've pretty well settled that question.
And online, Trump never held back. This was in late January after Haley lost New Hampshire. Nikki Birdbrain Haley is very bad for the Republican Party. He called out her humiliating public loss, said she was average at best, and even ended with a threat to her donors. Anybody that makes a contribution to Birdbrain from this moment forth will be permanently barred from the MAGA camp. Which brings us to the moment where it became very clear Haley's speech wasn't just to announce she was leaving the race. It was also intended to undermine Trump's victory lap.
In all likelihood, Donald Trump will be the Republican nominee when our party convention meets in July. I congratulate him and wish him well. I wish anyone well who would be America's president. I have always been a conservative Republican, and always supported the Republican nominee. But on this question, as she did on so many others, Margaret Thatcher provided some good advice when she said, quote, "Never just follow the crowd. Always make up your own mind."
She's a candidate that still has some voters behind her, that still has some donors behind her. And if you're former President Trump, you not only want her support, you want the resources that she now has at her disposal to be put behind your campaign.
We don't know what Nikki Haley's next move will be. A role in Trump's administration, should he win the general election, seems unlikely. But what about a renewed bid in 2028, once Trump exits stage left?
She is someone that during this cycle has demonstrated fundraising prowess, dexterity on the debate stage, and the sort of skills and range to be a successful presidential candidate. Now just might not be her time.
She can point to the fact that she actually, won a state on Tuesday in Vermont. She won the Washington, D.C. primary at the very least. She pulled, 30 and 40% of the vote in a lot of these states. She has an argument to make.
It is now up to Donald Trump to earn the votes of those in our party and beyond it who did not support him. And I hope he does that. And our conservative cause badly needs more people.
Haley was the first woman to win a Republican primary. She won two, but that's the end of her run. For now.
From the bottom of my heart, thank you, America. God bless you.